Ray's Sports and Slams is a Boink Studios production. And now, on with the show.
Welcome back. Ray's Sports and Slams at a different time today. We are starting at 7:45 today because Ray All Day just got back from his trip celebrating Mrs. All Day's birthday. Happy birthday to her again. Hope she had a nice time. Hope she enjoyed her birthday. We had a great time on a cruise. But you know what? Can't leave the crew without doing the show. Doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel good. So I was like, I got to make this happen because it's like, how can I explain it? It's like one of the members of New Edition not showing up for a concert. It's not fun. So we got to do what we got to do. Lots to talk about. First, by all means, like, share, and subscribe. BoinkStudios.com, where you can find all the intel, all the 411. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and all your threads. I appreciate all the love. We have a lot to talk about. We are covering every genre of sport you can think of. So get ready. Get your popcorn because we got lots to talk about. First, the biggest Wemby hater of all time, Matt Garvin. What's up, brother?
America. I'll reiterate again. I don't necessarily not like the guy. He's very long and lanky. All right, whatever. America, good afternoon. It's your boy Mack with Max Facts today. I'm back again. Please like, share, and subscribe to Boink Studios. Let's go.
Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Good to see you. And of course, the third piece of the puzzle, and the only person who thinks Trae Young stinks, Mr. Walter Duncan. What's up, sir?
God. Yo, I'm good, man. I'm glad to be here. Excited to be back with my fellas.
That's right.
Glad for the listeners tonight. Hope everybody was safe with this weather that came through. So blessings to everybody. Let's get going.
Let's go, yeah. All right. We are kicking it off with the hottest story in the NBA. Bam Adebayo dropped 83 points to be the second highest scoring player in the NBA history behind Wilt Chamberlain. He's 2 points ahead of Kobe Bryant. For those who don't know, who maybe live under a rock, who don't know what happened, Bam Adebayo dropped 83, and people are like, wow, that's incredible. Yes, 43 points in the first half, 40 in the second. He shot 20 of 43 from the field, but 7 of 22 from three-point range. You know how many free throws he made? 36 out of 43. Compare that to somebody I know. I think his name is Kobe Bryant. He scored 81 in a 122-104 victory over the Toronto. See some differences. Okay, he was 28 of 46 from the field, 7 of 13 from three-point range, 18 of 20 free throws. The Lakers were trailing by 18 in the third quarter before Bryant made this comeback. What happened with the Bam Adebayo game? Oh, that's right. They were up by 25, and they missed free throws on purpose so Bam could get more shots to get some more points. Here is my opinion, and it is what I think of this game. And then I'm going to pass the mic to Mack and then pass the mic to Walt. I think it should be Bam Adebayo because this was terrible. You're ruining the NBA by these 83 points. You shot 43 free throws. Come on, dude. You really think that's legit? Your team is up 25. You have people missing free throws on purpose so they could foul you so you could get extra shots. Dude, you shot 7 of 22 from three. The blasphemy and the disrespect for the true GOAT, Kobe Bryant, makes me vomit. I actually vomited when Mack sent me this link about Bam. I called Walt the next day because I needed him to send me some medicine because I was still sick and nauseous. This is disgusting. This is terrible. I don't know why this is even in the record books. I think there should be a massive asterisk next to this. It hurts the league. There's one thing where you're dropping 83 and they need you. They're down by 5. They're down by 10. And you have to keep scoring. It's another when you're up by 25. They don't need you anymore, but you're just doing this just to do it. Against a team that I believe the point guard is Max Mailman, and the center is the guy that cuts Walt's grass. So you have two nobodies on this team. Disgusting. Against the Washington Wizards. I don't understand this. I'm confused how this is not just deleted from the record books, but needless to say, it's not. I'm compressed. Mac, the floor is yours.
Listen, America. Just so y'all know, America, we talked about this last week, back and forth. We were double teaming one. At one point, I was double teaming against one of the amigos here, the threesome here, and it was a one-sided argument. And listen, we could not wait to talk about this. I went riding with Ray 100%. This is trash, America. Trash. There's a reason why not even NBA players are not even co-signing with this guy saying good job. They're all kind of like, yeah, whatever, next. Like he's no love. And the disrespect with the photo with Bam Adebayo, where he's holding up on a white piece of paper with the number 80 with the towel over his head, trying to pay homage to Wilt Chamberlain. How about you do that if you get more than 101 points? Please don't disrespect the game. Bean Bryant didn't put a piece of paper in front of his hand with 81 points on it. Like, it's complete disrespect, and I can't stand it. And there's every sports analyst, if you ask any of them, they're like, it was trash. You're right. 43 points from the free throw line. Yeah, I mean, like, great. You got a chance to practice at the free throw line. Like, you know what I mean? Like, good for you. I'm glad you made 83 points and 43 of them were from the free throw line. Wasn't top tier action. And you're right. Kobe Bryant left the game, America. And, let's do a max fact. Someone needs to chime in to tell me what quarter he left the game to when he hit his 81 points versus our friend Bam Adebayo, not by you. He's not by me on any stretch. When did he leave the game? He didn't, America. He played until the very end with maybe a minute left to go once he got 83. It's trash. Brother Walt, Wisdom, what do you got for us, sir?
What do you got, sir?
So look, I understand your points, right? But 83 points is still 83 points. Look, he's not Kobe Bean Bryant. He's not even Wilt Chamberlain, right? I'm a Miami Heat fan, and I'm not saying this because he's my guy. I watch the Miami Heat sometimes, and I get frustrated watching Bam play because I'm just like, okay, like, you're supposed to be the team leader. You're supposed to be the guy, but then sometimes he plays small. He's not leading, right? Like he should. I think he should be. I think that he has the capability to be a 25 and 10 and 15 every night, but that's not what we get every night from Bam. You know what I'm saying? So he shows up small. So I understand your arguments. There are NBA players who are in favor of what he did, and there's those who are against it, right? Look, I think it's significant, right? 83 points is still 83 points. The way Kobe scored those points, Kobe was by far the better scorer of the two, right? Better shooting percentage, better, ball handler and everything. So I think it's we're trying to compare apples and oranges by trying to compare the two. Bam was fouled by the Washington Wizards 43 times. That's why he shot, a bunch of times. That's why he shot 43 free throws, right? You know what I'm saying? So, like, I understand your argument, but there's other NBA players that have chased stats before. You remember in the season where David Robinson famously scored 71 points in the season, so he can beat. I think he could beat Shaq. He could beat Shaq for the scoring title. It was Ricky Davis who famously shot a shot at his own basket so he can get a rebound, right? So he can boost his percentage. Russell Westbrook was cited for. People thought he was cheating by trying to chase the triple-double record, right? So a lot of people have these different things. It's not too far gone to think that that stat chasing isn't a thing in the NBA. Players want to be in the record books. And another thing, I think the reason why Bam, wanted to beat it and get the 83 points because of the significance to him. On that day that he did it, or close to that day, his grandmother's birthday was around that time, and she would have been 83 years old. I think that's why he was holding up the paper, because of that significance to her. and representation. So I think that's why he was happy about it. Do I love the fact that it went down the way it did? I would have loved, I think it would have been more exciting to see Stephen Curry get 83 points because of all the shot making and stuff like that, because he dazzles. I think that's another issue with it, right? The way that Bam scored it wasn't dazzling. It wasn't enticing like the way that Kobe did it, the way that probably Wilt Chamberlain did it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the issue. But man, y'all gotta get off my boy's back.
All right. My second question to you guys is this. Okay. I get it. He was dedicating to his grandmother. Okay, that's beautiful. Okay. There's one thing for me to beat Walt in hoop one-on-one. If I'm just practicing, I'm really working on my shot, and I just have a game of my life and I beat him. It's another thing to beat Walt when he's walking around with 102, 103 fever. He's throwing up every 2 seconds, and I beat him. Whoopie-de-doo. It's one thing to beat Matt Garvin in a race because I've trained, I've really worked hard, and I've just dedicated myself. Okay. It's another thing to beat Matt Garvin in a race when he's walking with a broken ankle. Does that really count? So my point to you is this. You're up by 25. Did you need to break that record? What was the significance? You could dedicate something to your grandmother without dropping 83 and disrespecting Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant is in his grave throwing up because he's like, this is disgusting. 43 free throws. At the end of the day, you could put a dress on a pig, it's still a pig. It's disgraceful. It's terrible. The fact that they had to foul on purpose to get his points up, and they didn't need to get his points up. They're playing the Wizards. They're not playing Boston. They're not playing the Knicks. They're not playing Cleveland. They're playing the Wizards. You didn't need to do this. I'd understand it if it was a top contending team like the three I just mentioned in the East. Okay, we really need you because we're playing Boston. We really need you. We're playing the Knicks. We really need you. We're playing Detroit. This is a G League team at best, and you dropped 83. So kudos to Bam Bam Boo Boo Adebayo. I still think it's disgraceful, and like I said, there should be a massive asterisk to this. I'm gonna let Walt go first, and then Mac. Walt, defend yourself again.
Look, man, like everybody is entitled to their opinions, right? Like about this. It wasn't sexy the way that he did it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
43 free throws is a lot. I think how many free throws did the Washington Wizards have that game? I don't know, but they probably had less than 43. Free throws that the Bam had. The Washington Wizards might get the number one pick if the draft odds work out in their favor, right? They fouled that man that many times. If they didn't foul Bam that many times, he wouldn't have scored 83 points, more than likely, and this wouldn't even be a discussion. You know what I'm saying? He would have scored 60 or 70 or whatever. Do I love the way that they were stat chasing, that his entire team was doing that? No. I didn't love that. Like, you guys were blowing them out by almost 30. You were up by almost 40 at some point in the game. Like, it is what it is. But these guys, they want to be in the history books. That's what these guys do. Like, we've seen athletes, LeBron James, like going to Miami to chase a ring, right? Like, athletes want the accolades. Athletes want these records. They want the rings. And so the athletes are going to do this sometimes. Do I love it? No, man. But again, 83 points is 83 points. He's in the record books. It was a 20-year anniversary since Kobe did it. So maybe it was scripted for all the, the conspiracy fans out there. Who knows? It's been 20 years since Kobe did it. But look, I don't think Kobe will really give a care about Bam, because he was just like, Kobe has 4 rings. Kobe was the GOAT. Kobe was like Jordan 1A and Kobe 1B. You know what I'm saying? So like, Bam does not hold a candle to Kobe. So for the fans that are people are saying that it's disrespectful, I don't think Kobe would probably bust Bam's butt right now if he was still alive. So look, I think it is what it is. Kobe's still the greatest, one of the greatest to play the game. I think y'all just need to I think it's overhyped. Bam, let Bam have his little record and go about your day, man. It's all good.
Okay. All right. Mac, what you got, sir? You can close this conversation.
All right, no problem. Real quick. I mean, I hear you. For the record, they scored the Wizards, which is an NBA G League team, in my opinion, also too. However, they did get the guy from your city's team to go over to their team. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, Trash Young.
He said, yes, your boy,
Yes.
Mr. Young, got traded to the Wizards. America, just so y'all do know, he's an Atlanta fan, Hawks fan. So just so everyone be clear of that. But here's the deal. You're right. With the relevance of I did it for my grandma, she'd have been 83. Just America, so you know, they did score 16 free throws in the fourth quarter as far as the Wizards did, just for Max facts, just for, you know. Overall, I hear what you're saying, man. Bottom line is, do I think the other team was complicit to doing it? I don't think so. It's just that he was trying to charge out and they were trying to stop him because the score, it wasn't like the score was out of bounds. Like, I mean, 130, 150. I mean, it was back and forth during the game. So it wasn't a blowout to say cut him loose in the fourth quarter. Like, they played, but you know, to the fact of Ray, like, he paid till the bell was over. Well, I'm sorry, a minute left in the games when he walked out. And of course, the crowd goes crazy. And of course, it's 83 points exactly. And if that's what the situation is with grandma, said, I'm done. Like, you know, he had the wherewithal to do it. I'll give him credit for that. But you're right. Some of the league is like, hey, kudos to you. Some are not. And you're right. The irony of the season of 20 years later, Kobe's 81. I mean, not the actual anniversary date of the game, but within this past month, it was when he did his 81-point game. If that had any fuel behind it, okay. And it just so happens to coincide with 20 years. So I don't know, man. It just when you see players who are currently playing well, like, it's just like they're like giving them no respect for it whatsoever. And I'm like, ouch. I'm like, that's what hurts to me. If all of the NBA players were all in for it, like, yo, kudos to them. But you've got plenty that are like, next question. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just really just negative attitude towards it. And of course, this girl Asia is like, baby, you did that thing. And then the rumors that they were going to test to see if he had any performance enhancing drugs in his system or not. The next day he was supposed to go report to the league commissioner's office, to P also, too, to make sure. Just because of the suspectness of all 83 points and how much it made media news, I think was a slap in his face also, too. So, oh, well, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Get to some of these comments because some people are commenting, so I don't want to make anybody feel disrespected.
Amen.
We have a first-time listener, TB Jules, 2295. Kobe's the GOAT. I agree with you 100%.
Absolutely.
Timmy Gonzalez. Timmy, thank you, my friend, for watching. What's up? The Iceman did the same thing to beat David Thompson. Yes, he did.
Wow.
There it happens, Timmy. So
Yeah.
I agree to that point that Walt brought up. Joe, kudos to Walt. I agree. But you did it. You didn't do it for stat pound. You did it to just, I don't know, to disrespect Kobe. So I'm upset. Fernando, what's up? What's up, dude? It's good to see you. Thank you for watching. I appreciate the love. All right, we're switching gears, and we are going to Trey Hendrickson. You're saying, what about Trey Hendrickson? What do I need to know? Well, he just signed a 4-year, $112 million contract with the Baltimore Ravens. You say, wait a minute. Didn't they get an edge rusher? Yes, Maxx Crosby is going back to the Raiders, dude. According to ESPN, the move occurred after the Ravens backed out of a trade for the Raiders' edge rusher Maxx Crosby due to a failed physical, with Baltimore pivoting to sign Hendrickson instead. The 31-year-old defensive end signed a 4-year, $112 million deal with the Ravens. Crosby remains with the Raiders. He's saying he's Raider loyal, and the Ravens backed out, and we shall see what happens. Here's my take, and then I will go to Walt, and then I will go to Mack. I think it was realize what I gave up to get somebody and realize I gave you too much and you want your money back. And they said, you know what, Henderson, even though he's 31, which in football years is like 57, he's still a legit pass rusher. He's still good. He's not Maxx Crosby good, but to give up 2 first rounds and a second, or I believe, no, a first and a second, I guess they thought that price tag was too much. So their physical wasn't meeting their criteria to their liking. And according to NFL rules, it's each individual's personal team's physician's guidelines, whatever they deem you passing their physical is. Obviously, it's not drugs, it's other metrics, but whatever they deem is not passable is not passable. So I think that's a loophole with these contracts and with signing new players. So again, if you were asking me what I think happened, I think they said, you know what? I want that chain that's worth $50. I'm going to give you $500. You're like, sold. I realized, wait a minute, this chain Maxx is probably worth $100. You know what? You could take your chain back. I want my money back. I'm going to get something else because they feel like I overpaid for this. I think they overpaid for Maxx. So they had to come up with an excuse. And the only thing you could come up with, I'm sure they have lawyers and everything. What can we do to get out of this contract? Get out of this? Hey, you know what? Union pass are physical. As you remember in the NBA, Lakers got a center, Mr. Williams, who allegedly didn't pass a physical because they realized, hey, you know what? He's not the most dependable center in the league. We need to just back out of this trade before it's too late. So, Walt, what do you think of Trey? What do you think of Maxx Crosby now? And what do you think happened in your opinion?
Look, in my opinion, I think that it had definitely to do something with the physical that took place. Because Maxx, I think he was hurt a little bit last year. And so I think that played into it. And they probably didn't like what they saw. And, they pivoted from it, right? And walked away because they didn't like how maybe he responded in that physical. Right. I think if they really wanted him, they would have kept him, but they figured like, hey, we can get Trey Hendrickson for cheaper, who's, statistically better. Since 2019, Trey Hendrickson has almost 80, I think 79 sacks compared to Maxx Crosby, who's around like 70, like 69 and a half sacks. So, and Trey Hendrickson also has a better pass rush rate as well. So, stat-wise, Hendrickson is the better pass rusher, but Maxx Crosby is 3 years younger than him. So they were like, hey, Trey Hendrickson, I think with the exception of last year, he's been pretty durable. He missed a lot of games last year, I think 10 games due to the injuries. But for the most part, he's been very durable. Now we're going to see how his body holds up. He is older. Like you said, Ray, he's an old man in the NFL right now.
Yeah, 31 is like 57 now or 50. I'm just doing the math on my agefootball.com.
Yeah, and so I think that is I think the Baltimore Ravens still won at the end of the day because they got a solid pass rusher, somebody who's been pretty consistent in the league. And look, this is what Maxx Crosby said after getting, after the Ravens rescinded the trade. He said that they basically woke the sleeping giant and that he's a Raider. So maybe he'll go scorched earth next season for the Raiders, and we'll see. But I think the Ravens were smart in this, and they didn't like what they saw.
Okay, Mack, I'm sure you have opinions on this.
You were man.
Skin, so go.
Yeah, like it's the same situation when they announced that Maxx is coming to the Ravens. Why are you going on the wrong side of the ball? You need to protect Lamar. What are we doing? Like, you've got a running machine, which is the beast of the league. You have a prolific quarterback who's can be like a human joystick, you know what I mean? Like Michael Vick 2.0, and you try and acquire talent for the same position again, but we need to protect him. Like, I don't understand. Okay, you went from one pass rusher and got another pass rusher. I thought the pivot was America said to him, why did you pick up a pass rusher? You need to protect Lamar. Oh, we're listening. Okay, no problem. Let's go get someone for the O-line help for him. And that's not what happened. Like, you wouldn't got Trey Hendrickson. He's solid. I just like Ray just mentioned, and Walt, the same deal. Like, he got hurt last year, so the question mark is going to be was not his availability. We all know, like I say in the room, a best ability is availability. He got hurt last year. And the concern for me again is like, what are you doing to help Lamar? There's a reason why the man keeps flying out the box, trying to run for his life because the O-line's breaking down. Get this man help for the O-line help. They're not going to help themselves this far as offseason, as far as the draft goes, because they're not even picking close to them in the first round to get top tier. And everyone wants to find another diamond in the rough. Everyone wants a circumstance like an Aaron Rodgers, or for that matter, a Tom Brady, but it's hard to find that. Someone now the talk is we need to find another Sam Darnold. Like, dude, like it's hard. So I don't understand the real big reason of why they went with defense again. Like, what's wrong with you? What is wrong with this organization? They got a new GM now. You got a new head coach. No, I'm sorry. No. Let me clarify. I'm not sure about the GM. However, they got a new head coach now. And if his decision is we're going to go this route, but we'll see what happens in America, I don't like it. I don't like it. Maxx Crosby, he's a Raider because Baltimore said no. That's why he's a Raider. He can say what he wants to say. And if another team wants him and throws some on the table, oh, I'm a Browns for life now. Like, whatever.
You know what, Mac? That was such a profound statement about the defense and O-line. I'm going to applaud that because you didn't need another pass rusher. They could have pivoted. Like you said, let me give you another. You could have pivoted and got an O-line help, but you didn't. So I'm going to just ask this one last question before we pivot to another subject. Do you believe that his physical was legit, or you think, again, it was buyer's remorse? I'll let Mack start and I'll let Walt end.
100% buyer's remorse. When the media came for them as an organization, said, you guys are absolute morons and idiots over there. They've got their own fan bases. They've got bloggers who live in their city that tells them if they think it was a good or bad idea. I think they crunched to the pressure. And like you said, Ray, the mystical physical, all of a sudden, like I personally thought, America, it's a done deal. And all of a sudden this news comes up saying, no, they're pivoting. They're rescinding their offer. You didn't do that before you did the deal? That's my question. Like, listen, America, I'm a New York Giants fan. Okay. We got a great head coach. Everyone congratulated me, sent me messages. And my answer to everyone was when I see him in the press conference saying, hi, I'm the new Coach Harbaugh to the New York Giants, is one I'll believe because anything can go wrong. And this is an example of how the Ravens were stoked, ready to go buy a new Crosby jersey, probably pre-sale. And
oh my God.
Now, what am I going to do with this daggone jersey? Well, I didn't wear it. I'm seeing if I can return it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this has got BAT written all over it. It's unfortunate, man. I think it's all 100% smoke and mirrors. What do you got, Walt?
Look, I don't know.
Those shirts are 50% off, by the way.
Yeah.
I think it was definitely some buyer's remorse. And I think, like you said, Ray, I think it had to do with the contract that they gave him. And they were like, you know what? We could actually get somebody. Let's keep our draft capital. Trey Hendrickson is a free agent. We can get this guy who's just as good statistically as Maxx without giving up any draft capital. So it was definitely buyer's remorse from that standpoint, right? You gain so much by rescinding the trade. You gain so much back, and you still get a guy on the defense that could get you some pressure. But look, I agree with you. They should have got some blockers in there to protect, pass block for Lamar. But
it is what it is. All right, we're going to take ourselves to the ball game. USA defeated the Dominican Republic 2-1 yesterday in the World Baseball Classic semifinals. Pitcher Paul Skenes allowed 1 run, and home runs by Gunnar Henderson and Roman Anthony secured the win, which concluded with a controversial strikeout against the Dominican Republic in the 9th. The controversy happened in the 9th inning. There was a man on third, 2 outs. And unfortunately, Mason Miller struck out Geraldo Perdomo with Fernando Tatis in the batting circle, eventually tying the game and could have won it. Now, I am Mr. Baseball. I've watched the pitch 400 times. I sent the clip to both Mack and Walt. I'm sorry. That's a ball. Now, before anybody jumps down my throat, I am Team USA all the way. So people, oh, you don't like America. You hate USA. Blah, 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 blah. No. Listen. Hear me out. Love USA. I would happy that they won. I'm glad that they won. But I would like them to win right. And I felt Perdomo was smart. He thought it was a ball because the ball dropped. The pitcher framed it. For those who know what framing is, it's when the catcher grabs the ball and then lifts his arm up a little bit to frame a strike. He framed it. Kudos to the catcher. He framed it beautifully. It was an A effort framing. It wasn't sloppy where he's like doing this. He caught it and lifted straight up. So it was a perfect frame. However, ball is a ball. It should be first and third, 2 out, and Fernando Tatis's up. Now, if you get Tatis up and you get him out, kudos to you. But it never got to that. So there's going to be controversy about this win. A lot of people from the Dominican Republic are very upset. And I get it. You know, USA played their hearts out. They're a great team. Let me say this first. Paul Skenes is the best pitcher in baseball. Not in the American League, not in the National League, in baseball. This dude is throwing 105 bullets. When I see him throw it, I don't even know when the catcher has the ball. He's throwing so hard. And he's throwing this hard 5th, 6th, 7th inning. This guy is the truth. I would give you anybody on the Mets for this guy. This guy can pitch. However, you know, DR was projected to win this whole thing, and their dreams were shattered. I was in Miami, and I saw a lot of Dominican Republic fans. They were very, disappointed in this. My 2-part question to both you guys is this. Should there be allowed replays in these baseball classics where the coach could protest or throw some type of card or something, especially a game of this magnitude where it's a semifinal game, to go to the finals of this? And did you think it was a ball? Did you think it was a strike? I will go to Mack first and then Walt. The floor is yours.
Okay. So full disclosure, America, I watched USA versus Canada. I was stunned to see Joe Judge up for batting. I'm like, what's going on? And then it dawned on me, WBC is running right now, World Baseball Classic. My Max facts I want to present to the audience. I need someone to chime in and tell us when it started, what year. Who knows? Chime in. I will give you a clue. It has been since the 2000s, since the World Baseball Classic has been going. All right. Now, USA baseball in the Olympics will be 2028. I hope that they finally can make a decision to have it be exclusively MLB players representing the U.S. and officially have a dream team, if you want to call it, from the 92 with basketball. That's what I am hoping for. So full disclosure, with this game with DR, I think it was a ball. Because until they make this, I hope, America, this launches the idea. Now, it will hurt umpires from the standpoint of if it is detrimental in the game, watch replay 100% to make sure this guy got it right. If they do try and move to some automated service to calculate the actual box, the mound box, and for that matter, determine if it's a ball or strike, it'll take away the element of the game. But I think in a magnitude like this, could it hurt? Nope. But I'm almost sure it could be the same situation like they do with the NFL with instant replay. You can only do it two, if I'm not mistaken, it's 2 times as far as NFL. Correct me if I'm wrong, Walt. Well, you can throw the red flag. You can't throw the red flag all night long. So I think it would be instituted with something like that because of the magnitude. I think the ref, he made a call and it is human error. We can go back and forth. I thought it was a ball as well, but human error is a part of this game. And if they move to an official system, I mean, it's easy to do for baseball for them to do it. Like, this is not rocket science. They can calculate how fast the ball goes because they instantly flash on the screen when a strike or hit, whatever takes place, and tells you velocity. Yeah, you're right. 102 is insane. Like, I can't do that, but they instantly can do it. So we know they can institute a way to make sure it determines the ball or strike. I like the idea if they can. I thought it was a ball. You can call me a homer for the USA. Ray's on the opposite side of it saying no. I'm sorry. Ray's agreeing with me. I think it was a ball as well, versus a strike. And America is going to go back and forth. And I think with this level of competition as an event, maybe if they only use it for WBC, or if they end the Olympics in 28, do it then. That's what I got.
All right, well, what you got, brother?
So I want to talk about the instant replay first. I think a lot of the major sports leagues use it and implement it in some way right now. Just like in the NBA, they a couple of years ago, they instituted the challenge, right? You can challenge a call on the floor. I think MLB needs something of that sort, especially, if it's something that could cost somebody or change the game, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I with that standpoint, I would not be, it wouldn't turn me off if they instituted that. I think they do need it, because it's as human beings, we're gonna miss things. These umpires are gonna miss calls. It happens in every sport, right? NBA, NFL, it happens all the time. We see somebody making an egregious call that impacts the game. So that's why I think they instituted the replay right now. As far as the actual pitch, I totally agree. We're in unison here. I think that it was a ball, and I think that they were robbed of the opportunity to try. Right, doesn't mean that they would have won the game if Fernando Tatis Jr. came up and even though he was having a wonderful WB season, I think that WBC season, I think that it was the missed opportunity that was taken from them that they are angry about. So that's how I feel about it. I say let's do it. Let's bring about instant replay. I know they have some limited instant replay right now in the MLB, but I think they need to expand it a bit more.
All right. My question to you is this as well. My second part of this. I know Major League Baseball right now currently has changed a lot of rules. You only could throw to the first base, second base, I believe twice. And if you don't get the guy out, it's a balk. I know there's a pitch timer. You only have a certain amount of time to throw a pitch. Mm-hmm. I know you're allowed to challenge safe and out. Why has this not been implemented in the WBC? Because I feel like that would have been the right time to implement that. If you're doing it in Major League Baseball, why not do it then? And second question is, do you think Fernando Tatis would have won that game had they called it a ball and Tatis would have got up in their pressure? Do you think he's clutch like that? Or do you think, so people say he would have choked regardless. So I'm on the fence with it because there's some people out there that are Fernando Tatis haters. I think he would have produced. I'm not saying he 100% would, but in my opinion, I think he would have come through. So we'll never know, but Walt, you kick it off, and then Mack, you end it.
I think they would have had a great chance to at least tie, the score and maybe take it to extras or potentially win. They had someone on third base, 2 outs. It definitely would have just made it more of a classic in that way. Tatis was having a wonderful, stat line during the WBC. So he would have had a pretty good shot. We don't know. All we can do is speculate right now, but that's about it.
Listen, I'm kind of on the fence, and again, my standpoint is this: if you're going to make changes, this would be the opportunity to do it because it's not regular MLB season. Let's try things with this idea. And I don't know if we haven't found out if anyone chimed in or not. Let me know what year it started, WBC, because it is newer. It is not since the Greystoke era of baseball. So the idea of this, you can do it for a safe and out as far as like double check. They'll go to the footage and take a look. So it's not like they haven't implemented this as an idea. It's just how often they could use the pitch count to determine if it was a strike or an out, or a ball or a strike would be the question mark, and do I think Tatis would have? Walt, you're right. We'll never know, but he's not consistent either. So I think it would have been, he still would have choked. Like he can say what he wants to say. He's just not consistent all the time. You know what I mean? Because you got a lot of this that you see with different sports and you see fans do it. I think he still
would have put on him.
Yeah, like he's not consistent enough. He's not Mr. Clutch. He's not Judge. All right. Let's put it where it is. We can't depend on him like, oh, he's crushing us. No, he's a question mark. Everyone's like this with their head down, like, please, so yeah. What do you got, Ray?
Yeah. At the end of the day, it was a call that, like I said, Fernando Tatis, he's a fantastic player. All-star top 10 right now. But yeah, The knock on him is that sometimes he chokes in big situations. Eric is in the house. Said pitch was a ball, but bad calls are part of the game. I agree. Mad respect to DR, but they lost the game. Paul Skenis is the best in the game. I said this. I agree with you 100%. So applaud Cologne for that comment. Mentioned that weeks ago. You said Freddie Peralta was. And so if Freddie Peralta was top 2 or 3. That's what I said. So don't misquote me now. Yeah, I didn't say that.
We need to check Ray's receipts.
Ray's receipts. I did not say the best pitcher in baseball. I said one of. I said he's probably top 3. So I think Skenis is the best. And you also said the league will be instituting a replay of limited balls and strikes by MLB. By next WC, the rules will be implemented, and this will not happen again. Yeah, your lips to God's ears. I know that the 15-second timer for managers to challenge is strictly enforced as of 2026. Umpires get like limited between inning feedback on balls and crikes. So it exists. So we shall say. And Fernando says agreed. Top 3. I see it. I love Nando. He I said Peralta was top 3. Raise receipts. Say accurate. I thank you for finding that. It is accurate. I said top 3. All right. We're switching gears, and we're going to football now. So it's time to hike the ball. Justin Fields. Yes, Justin out in the fields is now a Kansas City Chief. The Chiefs found their newest backup for Patrick Mahomes, agreeing to send a 2027 6th-round pick to the Jets to acquire Justin Fields. Fields, 27, wanted to continue his career in Kansas City, although all teams were interested in him. The sources say that the Jets acquired Geno Smith in a trade via the Raiders to be the new starter. The Jets are paying $7 million of Fields' $10 million 2026 guaranteed salary. And Kansas City's covering the other 3. That's so generous of them. Do you think Justin Fields will see any playing time, and will this help him in any shape, way, or form? I'm saying he'll at least have a home. You know, unless Pat Mahomes, God forbid, tears something, you're not seeing the field. But hey, it's a nice, steady job. I'm sure you'll keep the bench nice and toasty warm. You know, I'm sure if Mahomes wants a drink, you'll have it nice and cold for him. If he wants a blanket or, you know, maybe needs a back rub, you know, I'm sure you'll be there to help him out. But, you know, kudos to Justin. He found a better team. You have a better chance of getting a ring as opposed to staying in the JETS, which spells STINKS. So kudos to you for that. Mac, what you got? What do you think of Justin Fields, brother?
Well, brother, you still have my juice. At least he's going to a team where he's got a better chance to win, you know, period. With the Jets, you know, you're right. STINKSSS. Like they are just dysfunction at its finest. I mean, but you're right. Malik left. I mean, he's with Kansas City. He went where did Malik go to? I think Walt.
The
I think
Dolphins.
he chose last
The
time.
Dolphins.
He went to the Dolphins. Yeah. So he left. So he's somebody. He's someone on the roster back up Mahomes in case he gets hurt. You know, just like we know that's a possibility. But at least he has an opportunity to learn behind an experienced quarterback. He knows he's not the man. He had an opportunity to be the man with the Jets, and I mean, it's unfortunate, you know what I mean? But Ric Flair said the best: to be the man, you gotta beat the man, and he's not. He will not be in KC. No. I'm happy he gets an opportunity to at least be around what good management looks like and execution, and maybe to be an audition for him in 2 years for another team. Learn behind a legend. I mean, I shouldn't say Mahomes legend because they're about the same age. It's just that Mahomes has had a great coach steer his career, and we see what happens when good coaching and sound GM decisions happen. And so I'm happy for Mahomes' career, and Justin will get the experience that he's going to need. I think it's going to help him ultimately. I mean, you're right. They generously picked up the difference of his contract, and it's the fact that the Jets will still pay him some dough to leave, which is absolutely 1,000% asinine. Just like Tua went to, I'm sorry, Walt. I mean, Tua, they owe him was it $98 million, and they're like, we're gonna cut ties with this guy. We're going to give him money for the next 2 seasons to leave. And I'm like, wow, they're paying this guy to leave. What does that say about him? So I don't know, America, but that's the best I can hope for Justin at this point.
All right, well, what you got?
To respond to you first, Mac, the Dolphins, they said, like Jay-Z, I have 99 problems, but Tua is not one. So, look, they rather deal with that. You know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is. They're going to deal with it. And, this next 2 years, they're going to, swallow that pill. And they'll be finished with Tua after that. They got Malik Willis for a 3-year contract. So let's just see what happens. I don't think the Dolphins will, be all that good this year. They're in rebuild mode, but we'll see what happens. Now about Justin Fields. Look, I wouldn't have minded if he stayed on the Jets because during his career as a starter, the guy, I think he's like 16 and like 40 or 16 and 38 or something like that, right? Like he has a losing record. Like he's terrible. You know what I'm saying? So like I think that even with the Jets last year, he went 2-7 as a starter. So, like, look, I think this is a exciting opportunity for Justin in KC because he has a chance to compete for a championship now. He gets to, sit down behind a, what people were calling for some time, the GOAT, the next GOAT at, quarterback. So, Mahomes is only 30 years old, so who knows how much longer he'll play. And right now, Justin Fields is about 27 years old as well. So, he can maybe still learn a thing or two from Mahomes. But look, I think that, Justin is who Justin is. He's good. He's good at, scrambling, making people miss and getting the first down. So maybe he can do that, a couple of times. If Patrick, gets hurt or dinged up, maybe he can be a game manager and help win KC some games that way. I'm excited. I'm not excited to see, but I'm anxious to see what the Kansas City Chiefs look like, especially now since they've gotten rid of 2 of their top corners. Watson is gone, and I forget McDuffie is gone as well. Gone as well. So, and they both went to the Rams. So, I want to see how Kansas City is going to look. And Mahomes, I think this is his second year, getting hurt like that. So, he's getting older too. So I don't know. It's good. He may have a shot to compete, but the jury's still out.
All right. We're sticking with pigskin and we're talking about Dallas Goedert. The Eagles re-signed with the Philadelphia Eagles. The tight end has reached an agreement on a 1-year, $7 million contract. This deal includes a $4.2 million signing bonus. And, he's happy to stay in Philadelphia. By getting this deal done, the Eagles avoided a dead hit cap of more than $20 million, so they're saving money. Goddard and the team had an agreement to push that, to avoid this, and kudos to him. My question to you guys is Dallas's a doofus, Goddard, for not trying to test the market and try to get more money? Because let's face it, he's a top 5 tight end in the NFC. I would say that by far, at least in the West. Maybe not in the whole league, but in the West, he's top 5. Should he have tested the market? Because I think, 1 year, $7 million, $4 million $4 million signing. So, okay, let's call it 11. Who's to say you couldn't gotten 15 or 20 for 2 or 25 for 3 on another team that could use a tight end? I'm all about loyalty, but what does a 1-year agreement say about Philadelphia and their loyalty to him? Well, he's being loyal to the Philadelphia Eagles. So a lot of things that are a little fishy about it. So, I'm over by the docks because it smells fishy, and I don't know what's going on. Walt, you kicked this off. Do you think this was smart of him? Do you think it's Dallas doofus, or what you got on this?
I think for Dallas is smart, right? He's a 31-year-old tight end. I think the average age of the NFL tight end right now is between 26 and 27 years old. So he's on the older side of those things, right? He won a championship with the Eagles a couple of years ago. Even though he didn't really, I think it was, on the shoulders of Jalen Hurts and everything. Saquon Barkley that year, really. But, he was number 2 last year for tight ends for total touchdowns. And so, maybe in the league, he hasn't been in the top 5 guy, but he's been consistent. He's been good enough for them. He's had some big games. I think it's like, the writing might be on the wall with this one. I think he, is definitely loyalty. He probably, has built his life around, Philadelphia and stuff like that. And he probably wants to see what they can do for one more year, just to see what happens, to see if they can turn around, because they still have a great roster right now. Maybe, I don't know if AJ Brown has been traded yet. Mack, you can check me on that to see if AJ Brown is gone yet or not. But
let me take a look.
They have a pretty solid roster right now. Saquon is still there. Jalen Hurts is still there. They still have Devontae Smith. They still have Dallas Goedert. And, the core is pretty much there for them. I think it's just like, it's like you want to break up with that person. And you're just like, okay, I'm going to give you one more try just to see if you change. This might be what Dallas is doing.
Okay. Before Mack gives us his facts on A.J. Brown, the question is, though, now that he's 31, which in tight end football years is 67, do you think he should have tried or at least explored maybe getting that one last payday? That's my question, in essence, because maybe this is his last chance. Because next year he's 32. His window is getting smaller and smaller. So, Mack, go ahead, brother. Mack.
So, in reference with AJ Brown, America, just still the rumor on the table is still most likely the Patriots. There's nothing official. We talked about this 2 weeks ago, America, and check us to make sure. The conversation was going to be this: when you cause bad influence on national TV that we see, friction with management, friction with the quarterback, friction with the coach. It was obvious to see. I forgot what week it was, but you seen him going back and forth with Nick Sirianni, and they just happened to catch it on TV. That's not good. It's the same deal with when Diggs got exited from Buffalo because you saw a live dispute on the sideline with Josh Allen. You can't. It's okay if it's not on camera, but we saw it. And because of that, I do believe 100% AJ will be gone. Howie is going to cut him loose. There's no value in him staying. I just don't see how you going to fix that disgruntledness. Now, as far as with Goddard, I'm with you guys from the standpoint of why would you test the market? I think he realizes also too, $7 million is still decent money. I'm in a team that is contending. They're on the cusp of the Super Bowl again this past year. They didn't do well, but at least they're winning. If he gets traded to the Browns, if he gets traded to like the Raiders, what good is that going to do him? I left from a good situation to a trash situation. So, and listen, every NFL team is better. There's talent on that team that'll always be better than me. I know that. But the point I'm saying is this. There are teams that are contending. There are teams that are not. Goddard has tasted a Super Bowl. I don't know if he was there for their first one or not. I'm sorry. I'm not sure if he was there for the one before. No, yeah, I think we can double check to make sure if he was there when he won the Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts or not. I'm almost sure he was. But the point I'm making is this: when you get a taste of win and the taste of victory, and then you have an opportunity, a contending opportunity to get it again, why would you leave? Why wouldn't you stay where you're at? In Sam Darnold's case, I thought it was crazy for leaving the Vikings. Like, why would you leave this team? You won 14 games. This is the best you've ever done. And then he went to the Seahawks. And I'm like, this dude will never smell Super Bowl. And I was wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I understand why he did the deal that he did. So I'm happy for the guy. But we'll see what happens with A.J. Brown. He's still there.
All right, let's go to some comments. Fernando says, Dallas doofus. I like it. Eric Colon says, it's odd that he would settle on a one-year deal. Doesn't give him much job security should he get hurt. I agree with you 100%. That's my point. I think if your loyalty is there, show loyalty in return and give this kid a bigger, more lucrative contract. I'm not saying sign him to a 10-year deal. He's 31. You couldn't give him a 3-year deal, but we shall see. All right, we're finally ending to wrap this up with NBA. Jason Kidd is officially gone from the Dallas Mavericks. They're saying that as of today, he's been fired as the coach of the Dallas Mavericks. Kid went 139, 152 with the Bucks. He's had a slide with season with the Dallas Mavericks. They're saying the reasons he's being released is, he's uncomfortable to work around. He's unimaginative with his offense, poor defense. I think it just has a lot to do with him spouting off in a press conference. Who knows? But my point is this. You only could do so much with little pieces you had. You had no Luka. Anthony Davis stubbed his toe, so he was out for the year. The team is just not good, and you only could do so much. You could have the greatest coach. You could get Phil Jackson in his prime, Pat Riley in his prime. You put this lineup there, dude, you only could do so much. So I think Jason Kidd got a raw deal. I think he'll find a coaching job elsewhere next year because I think he's a good coach. I think saying he's got unimaginative offense is kind of crazy, but it is what it is. Mac, what do you think of this? And do you see him going anywhere?
So thanks, Ray. You know what? This is a situation where I think his mouth got the best of him. I understand the mentality of a coach. You have to have thick skin when you have losses. They fired their GM when they traded Luka, Ozempic Luka, but then you picked up, someone who is a half decent player who's injured half the season. I won't give him respect of mentioning his name. He knows who he is, Mr. Unibrow. But it's unfortunate of what happened. But I do believe the scrutiny of the media, when you get a chance to watch it, he flat out was like, I don't give an F what you think. I know what I'm doing. You've never played this game at a high level like I have. I've won as a player and as a coach. When you know what I know is when you can tell me what I should do. Now, that kind of mentality, in basketball, however, in football, we know one coach who was like that, Bill Belichick. But Bill Belichick had 6 chips also, too. He could say what he wanted to say, and everybody like, you're right. But in this case with Jason Kidd, he's won as a player, he won as a coach as far as the NBA. But it's just unfortunate. Just like Ray kind of started off with, when you're left with mediocre around you, there's nothing you can do. Just like the movie Blue Chips, before he got Shaq and Penny, their program was doing nothing. He tried to condition and get him ready. Nick Nolte is his name as far as the actor of America. Go watch the movie. It's what it is. But you got to have talent to win. And we all know that. And when you don't have enough to produce, it's frustrating. He can't say we're trash here, so it's unfortunate for him.
All right, Walt, what you got, brother?
Look, I think it's kind of a raw deal for Jason Kidd. He was just, he's 2 years removed from being in the NBA finals with Doncic, right? And then he loses that guy. Doncic is probably one of the greatest players in the NBA right now, top 10, top 5, depending on how you rank him. But he just had them there. So, coaching wise, with the roster that he had, he was delivering things, right? And so he did what he could do. So it kind of blows my mind. I think he kind of got a raw deal with them people saying he's unimaginative with, the offense and coaching and stuff. Well, he just had you guys in the finals 2 years ago. 2 years ago, guys. I think it's just because of how he spoke out. They probably didn't like that, and they wanted to put him in his place. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably what it was for me. The roster, is a young roster. They have Cooper Flag, who I think they think is going to be the next cornerstone piece of this roster. Kyrie Irving, he missed the season pretty much due to injury with his Achilles tear as well. So, I think they're going to just try to see how they do next year after the draft, free agency, and see if they can get some pieces going in and just moving forward with a different coach. I think you were right, Ray. Jason Kidd is going to land some other coaching gig, either this season or next season. And so I think that he'll be fine. But I think this is kind of a raw deal, and I think just somebody was trying to teach him a lesson.
Yeah, my only point is this: at the end of the day, if he was doing this with a team of all-stars, I would say I understand. He's doing it with Cooper Flag and a bunch of G Leaguers. it's hard. It's very hard. And to Max's point, and to your point, every NBA championship team has a star, has 2 stars, and a nucleus around those 2 stars to win that ship. No Kyrie. Unibrow is always hurt. Cooper Flag is going to be a great player. I think he's a very good player now. But other than him, who do you got? So it's like I felt like he just got a raw deal. I just think it's more of a personality thing than anything. But to your point, well, I think he's a good coach, and he's going to get interviews. He's going to get hired somewhere. Do you agree, Mack?
Absolutely, man. He is. There's no way he's not, because his record shows it. He does know what he's doing, just like he told the media at their press conference. You can look it up. It came out wrong because he's frustrated, but he will get an interview somewhere. The guy's resume demands that he gets an interview. I mean, unlike with the NFL, this past season, 10 head coaching openings and none African Americans were hired as far as head coaches in the Rooney Rule. But with Jason Kidd, basketball is such a different beast of sport. With basketball, sometimes there's always a concern also too with a player turned coach. Just because you played doesn't mean you have the coaching knowledge to translate. Now, with the exception of a couple guys, Jason Kidd is one who's won as a player, as a coach. Ty Lue, player, coach. And the greatest at this point, what you guys can dispute it or not, who happens to be the head coach for the Golden State Warriors. Kerr has won as an NBA player multiple times and as a coach multiple times. So for him, I think he's the best, period. The few that have gone from player to coach, it's just you don't see it very often, but he is a coach who has done both. So I'll give him a chance, and he will get an interview. He will get hired somewhere.
All right. Our last conversation, we've had this before, and we're ending this conversation. The Lakers, 5 in a row. Luka is averaging almost a triple-double, 30-point triple-double. Right now, I think him and Shea are 1 and 2 for MVP. LeBron is taking a third step and saying, you know what, you and AR, do your thing. We've had this conversation several times. I'm in shock that LeBron is not taking the ball and doing LeBron things, but he's not. The Lakers are now the 3rd seed. They went up from 6 to 3. They're playing probably the best basketball all season for them. There's a 2-part question. Could LeBron finally accept his role as the 3rd option? And if the Lakers do something in the playoffs, is Luka winning MVP? I will start with Matt, and then I'll go to Walt.
I'm gonna tail back, say, is Luka MVP? Is he at the? Will he meet games criteria? Like you have to be playing for
100%,
64, 65 games.
Yeah, he'll make it.
Okay, all right. Will he be MVP? He's good. I don't know if he's great for MVP yet. That's the. I mean, America. Just so you all know, our guy, Mr. Ray All Day, is a diehard Laker homer. So just so y'all know, this is not by chance. This is our last topic for tonight. He wants them to play well. Even if they're trash, he would have brought up as a topic of how they should be better of some reason. So here's what I will say. Here's what I will say. Does Luka have a chance? Absolutely. I think LeBron, America, we had this conversation like 10 episodes ago. Look it up. The conversation was when LeBron got hurt. He was gone, and all of a sudden they had other players with the Lakers all of a sudden just assumed these roles and started playing well. And the conversation was when he comes back, will he understand and look to see what's going on and blend in to fix the nucleus? Everyone talks about LeBron's IQ. It won't make any difference unless he recognizes these guys are the future. I know I'm gone. I'm up out of here at the end of the season. I'm going to be playing somewhere else. Will he accept his role of being the 3rd guy? He's going to have to, because he sees the other talent around him when he's injured steps up. How can I plug in, be a part of it? Should be his question versus demanding to be the guy, and you're right. These last 5 games, it's been a little awkward. It has been a little up and down with him, so I hope he does. He should. if he understands to be this savant and basketball IQ genius, he should recognize that. But ego is a big part of it. 41 still balling better than half the dudes in the league. Would probably say, no, I'm still the man. So, but if he goes to another team, I don't know. So it's going to be up there. But do I think Luka will be MVP? Nah.
All right. Well, you can end this conversation.
Look, I think LeBron has accepted, the role that he has to have on this team in order for them to be successful. And I think that's what he wants to do. LeBron has always been an unselfish player. And I think that's kind of been the knock on him for some people, because people want him to be like Kobe or Michael, how they, would do anything just to win, even making their own teammates uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Or going after their own teammates in practice. So I think LeBron will fit right in with this because it's in his nature. It's who we've seen him be at some points in his career, right? So I think that for that. As far as the Lakers go, with Luka having a shot to be MVP, he definitely has a shot. Right now, he's number 4. It's Shea, Wemby, Jokic, and I think then Doncic at number 4 right now in the MVP ladder that's out there. So look, he definitely has, especially if these guys get into the playoffs and they make some noise. Luka may have a shot to win MVP. He's already there. He's averaging over 32 points a game this year. He's phenomenal. And the Lakers need him. So because if they lose Doncic, they don't have a shot. They don't have a shot with LeBron and just Reeves. They need him in order to succeed. So absolutely, I could see him being worthy and of becoming MVP.
Okay. All right. Our final buzzer. This is where you can ask us anything about anything. Bring your noise. Bring questions about literally anything. And we will answer the best of our abilities. And I want to thank you guys all for watching again. Eric Cologne says, kid cannot handle withdrawal symptoms of going off Ozempic.
Luka Zempic.
Luka Zempic. I love it. Eric, you know what? I got to give you an applause for that, too. That's hysterical. And he also says Blue Chips was a great movie. I like that movie, too. That's an underrated movie. That was a very good movie.
It is.
And Jimmy says Cooper Flag is going to the Lakers. Your lips to God. I would be very happy with that. If you can make that happen, you know what? He's known for making dumb trades. So, hey, let's go. Asking a good question. If you were invited to someone's house to watch March Madness tournaments, what is the most important one?
What does he mean by important one?
What do you mean by important? That's like, who would I want to watch it with? What NBA player? Like, I'm confused with the question.
Yeah, us to watch March Madness tournament. What is the most important one? Yeah, I guess as in like, if you could invite someone to watch it with you, who would be it and why? I'm going to go with that as a pitch to say, who would you invite to watch it with?
My two guys.
So look,
that's easy.
I'm a foodie, so I'm going to go the food route here. If you invite somebody, if somebody invites you over, you got to bring some beer, some drink, or something, to
Oh, he's saying
over
food
to the party. You know what I'm saying? Like, bring some wings, some chips,
okay.
Something like that. Just don't come empty-handed, whatever. So definitely bring
so wings and beer. All right, something. I'm gonna say definitely wings, and I'm open with beer, whatever, but definitely wings. If you're saying just strictly food, yeah, you got to bring wings, and not like no 4-piece. You come with 18. Let's bring maybe 36, but you bringing some wings. Matt, what food is you bringing?
I was gonna say, like, I'm a chicken guy. All my fans know that. My nephews call me a chicken hawk. I'm bringing wings, maybe some pizza. Depending on where you're getting it from. Or maybe maybe cheesesteak too, because we're from the Philly area. So
we could go real southern with it and do some deep fried chitlins if you're game for it.
Ooh, you are talking my language, brother.
We never mentioned nachos, though. Could we throw in some nachos?
Yeah.
No nachos. Okay, so we're sticking with the wings, chitlins, and the pizza. Okay.
And pizza. Yeah.
Sounds good, dude. I understand. All right, guys. I want to thank you for staying and watching our show. We had a different time today because, like I said, Ray O'Day was on vacation. We will be back next week at 6 o'clock as usual. So please like, share, and subscribe to boinkstudios.com. Ray Sports and Slams. We bring the heat every week. Next week, we will have some AEW talk, more hoop talk. I'm going to let Walt say his parting shots. and then stay in the studio. Walt, what you got to say, brother?
America, thank you for your support. Thank you for our loyal listeners and fans out there. We appreciate you. We wouldn't be here without you. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We appreciate you, and I love you guys. Peace.
All right, Mac, parting shots, my friend, my brother, my partner in crime.
No problem, brother. So first and foremost, please like, share, and subscribe to Boink Studios. I want to give a special shout out today. Ray happened to mention vacation, and I want to give a plug to a particular person who's near and dear to my heart, my spouse, Valerie Garvin. She is a travel agent at Garvin Getaways through IntelliTravel America. So whatever your needs may be, she is a Disney guru. She's a Disney-nista. We love Universal. She loves Royal Caribbean and NCL as well. So she is certified to book your trips and vacations. Please DM me and I will forward her information to you. And from my end, America, we will be back better than ever next week. Love y'all.
All right. There's another great episode. I want to thank you guys again for staying around and watching us at our different time today. We will be back again next week at 6 o'clock. Thank you. Much love. I will see you next week. And please be on the lookout for us because we're going to bring nothing but the heat. Have a good night.